Right away when I look at these chips, they have lots of pink small dots on them, which makes me kind of worried. Recent developments in the Japanese potato chip market has caught our attention. What are the latest thing, which are the best chips, and how do they compare to international potato chips? Well, that's what we're here to find out. So the first chip I'm gonna try out is called Wasabi Beef, which is wasabi and beef, and I guess it's kind of an Japanese classic. I've been told that it's one of the best sellers at least, and it's definitely different from what I'm used to from Norway. And it has this cute little green pig on it. It's a wasabi eating wasabi beef. I don't know, beef. Is this a cow maybe? Maybe it's a cow, but it has a pig's nose and horns, so I think maybe it's a cow pig. Yeah, the consistency of these chips are just like classic Lay's or classic potato chips, not too crispy. I don't know if I could eat this every day or every weekend for year after year, but right now I find it very interesting. It's kind of classic chips with just a hint of something new. On a scale from 1 to 10, which is what we'll be using in this test, I would give this a 7. Moving on to another classic in the Japanese chip market is this Karamucho. And it's been around since 1984. And on the packet it reads, "Hey, what's up? Another long day? Just try our yummy spicy Karamucho and say hi." Yeah, like I said, this is supposed to be spicy, but for me who likes spicy food, it's... I think if you sold this chip in Norway, they wouldn't even categorize it as spicy. They would just say with spices maybe. As far as the rating go, I would maybe say this is a 5 out of 10. It's important to cleanse your palate when tasting potato chips.
Wait, sir.
With my trusty companion, Tori, or the Chuhai. Yeah, we've been through this. If you don't know what a highball or Chuhai is, just watch our video about 7-Eleven. This next chip we're gonna taste is definitely more exciting to me, and I've been eating this a lot, and this is a so-called popped chips, which means that it's not deep fried. It's what are they doing with this? They are they're heating it in some kind of way to make a more healthy chip. So this particular version of these pop chips, the flavor is called Yusukocho, which is a mix of Japanese citrus and chili. Yuzu is a Japanese citrus fruit that kind of looks like, or it's kind of similar to lime, and they mix this with chili and they get a really exciting flavor out of it. The thing about these pop chips, you can almost feel that it's more healthy, or at least that's what they're trying to make us feel like. It's light. It doesn't give you that heavy feeling in your stomach, and also the flavor is kind of delicate, kind of it needs to be well balanced to function in pop chips, or they become very boring. But I feel this one it has a hint of chili. It's not trying as hard as the Karamucho chips, the spicy one we tried earlier. They have a hint of an aftertaste of chili, and also after the kind of spice wears off, you notice there is also an aftertaste of some citrus, and that's it's a very good combination, very good balance in this chip. I wouldn't call it a classic, but compared to the rest of the chips I've tasted in Japan, I would say on a scale from 1 to 10 that this is an 8. Or maybe a 7. A fun fact about the extreme heat in Japan, and especially the high humidity here, is that when you open a potato chip bag, in less than 1 hour, these chips, they will soften considerably, so you have to eat them quickly. All kinds of snacks comes in smaller bags, and many people, they are discussing why, and especially this double wrapping. Like if you buy a Japanese gum, it's double wrapped. Each inside there's a wrapping around the gum pack, plastic, and when you take it up, each piece of gum is also wrapped with its own piece of paper or plastic. And the reason for this is not just this Japanese germophobia, which of course they have in Japan. People are crazy about germs here, but it's not just that, it's also because of the humidity makes so much food just go soft or go bad super quickly, so they kind of need this double wrapping. And this flavor is Umeboshi, which means pickled plum. And now we're definitely moving into the more outlandish territory for non-Japanese potato chip eaters. Right away when I look at these chips, they have lots of pink small dots on them, which makes me kind of worried. And also they feel a lot more crisp than the classic variants I tasted to begin with. This is actually kind of surprising how good this mix is. I would say I just tasted the citrus and chili, and this here is mixed with the salt and the pickled plum, or the most sour food you can eat in the world, and it works very well. It's very well balanced. If you ask me what chips to choose in a store, and you told me all these flavors they have in Japan, I don't think I would choose Umeboshi right off the bat. It would be a little bit down on my list, but actually this here should be at the top of your list, because this is a really good chip. It's got that kind of sourness you want in a sour cream and onion chip, and it has a little bit of that vinegary aftertaste as well. So if you like any of these flavors, I would recommend to try this Japanese plum flavored chips. They are actually, I think, one of my favorites so far in Japan. And yeah, I think I'll have to rate them a 9 out of 10. And look at this huge flake I just found. This is like made for this guy with this kind of size, you know, speaking hole. So this one is just roasted seaweed. So I already tasted this series, and I know that it's kettle fried chips, which means that they are thicker, crispier, and kind of what I'd like to call new school chips. Compared to the classic seaweed salt flavor in Japan, I would say this here is much heavier on the seaweed flavor. I like the crispiness, I like the consistency, I like the thickness of these chips. But these chips they have a little bit too heavy aftertaste of seaweed, I feel, which makes me put it a little bit down on the rating. I think it's not the strongest one in this series from Calbee of their kettle fried chips, but it's still a solid chip, so I will give it a 6 out of 10. Pizza potato mentai mayo, which in English would be pizza potato spicy caviar mayonnaise or something like that. Hi. So it's in Japan they always had pizza potato chips, or at least I've seen it for the last 20 years or so, but this one has a pizza topping that consists of Cod Roe and mayonnaise. And this mentai, it alludes to something called mentaiko, which is spicy Cod Roe. So Cod Roe with chili and mayonnaise and then pizza. It's like a glorious mix mastered flavor combo from hell. I never tasted this before, so this will be a first time reaction. I don't know what to expect. Is it gonna be delicious? Is it gonna be my new favorite? Or am I gonna hate this one? I don't know. Only one way to find out. Ooh. Yeah, it smells kind of like Norwegian caviar. We have caviar on tube that we eat as a spread on bread. It's a very popular Norwegian condiment. But no one ever thought about putting it on chips or on pizza. Hi, this smells funky as And the chips, they are also of the ruffled variant, and I can feel that they're kind of a little bit thicker. They're ruffled, and I don't know about the crispiness, but it definitely has a funky smell. Okay, I'm going in. It's not as bad as you'd think. Yeah, mayo. I think if you didn't tell me what these flavors are beforehand, I would say butter chili maybe?
Or cheese?
No, just butter and chili is what I can taste, and there is some undefinable something third component here, which of course is the fish eggs. It's not awful, but it's far from my favorite. I would not eat this or buy this on a regular basis, I think. Big fans of stinky blue cheeses. Maybe they'll get a kick out of this. For me, it's probably in the lower tier of my list, so I would say this is probably like a 4 out of 10. But a plus for effort. It's not terrible, and I'm sure there are people who will love this, but I probably will not buy this again, but I'll taste one more. No. The other ones, usually they make me more and more addicted. This one kind of makes me more and more disgusted the more I eat. Definitely need a palate cleanser. And we're back to square one.